Alright guys, and welcome to a brand new game today. Well, not exactly brand new. The original game, simply titled The Stanley Parable, was originally released in 2013. This is the remastered Ultra Deluxe version, only released, I think, at the end of April this year. Now, I know nothing about this game. All I have read is a couple of comments that said, don't read any reviews, don't read anything about the game, just play it. And it's got some incredibly positive feedback. That's all I know. Oh, and I saw one comment that said, you don't play this game plays you. And it's fascinated me. So we're going to try it today. What do you think? Now, the first thing it had to, before I got to this menu screen, it told me I had to put in the current time. So the game is tracking the time. We'll check this out as well. As I move my mouse into the screen. This is a mouse keyboard game. Well, I'm playing it that way. I think you can play controller. But check out the little computer monitor over here. It's tracking my mouse, and the monitor inside the monitor is also tracking my mouse, and the monitor inside the monitor inside of it. You get where I'm going with this. It's just a nice touch. So it's kind of already got me intrigued, and I'm only at the menu screen. Let's begin this game and find out a little bit more. Thank you for joining me, guys. Please leave a like if you can. Let's get going. Never the end is never the end is never the end is never the end.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
That sounds perfect for me.
Stanley was happy.
And Stanley was happy.
And
what a
then
job.
one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
He did what? You might get fired. Oh, right, we have taken over. We are in control, people. So we are playing as Stanley in room 427. What a great description for a job. Sit in front of a computer and press the buttons it tells you to press. Well, I mean, it looks really damn good, doesn't it? So what do we got? Obviously, WASD buttons, and that's it. I hate Mondays. I bet you do, mate. And is that the current time? No. So the game asking me to set the current time. It hasn't set the time in-game, but maybe it will matter a bit later.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Maybe this is the meeting room. Stanley decided to go to the meeting room, but Stanley doesn't know where the bloody meeting room is. I love the narration, though. It reminds me of the original Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy voiceover. I don't remember the actor's name, but it sounds so like that. What have we got? It's a standard looking office. I'm going to get so lost already. I mean, I'm getting lost already, is what I meant. What's that on the wall? Sales in this quarter. They can't spell quarter. Let's not quibble over spelling mistakes just yet.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What if I didn't? What if I went for the right? Okay, I'm going to do what the game tells me. For now. absolutely no one around. It's a ghost office. Is this the meeting room? Oh, it looks meeting roomy. Do not alter without consulting the whiteboard manager. Oh God, I've known people like that. Oh, I've known people like that.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Oh, the door's
Feeling
closed.
a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
What have we got here? What is this? Meeting schedule. Monday, weekly targets, marketing, termination. Termination Tuesdays? Financial panic meeting? Man, this sounds like like if meeting plans were done for real. 8-bird office party at the end of the week. I like the sound of that. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. What a plan! Future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. Okay, you're messing with my head here. Please, no more charts. Please, I'm begging, stop. Did you see that? On your boss appreciation minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Solving interpersonal conflict. If you find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined towards conflict, unless you're the kind of person who... Right, I missed that. Pause it, read it for yourself. I like the feel I'm getting with this. Okay, so we're going to head up to our boss's office. We have a broom cupboard, and the doors are closing behind us. Right. There are dark things at work here. Now, it's definitely...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh. Well, they've rolled out the red carpet wallpaper up here. Is this it? Executive bathroom. That's definitely not an office. Okay. Has to be here. Beautiful place. Absolutely gorgeous.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I love that. No, yep, it's not a secret anymore. 284. No, back out. 2. No, I got it. 2 8.
Stanley just sat around twiddling
4,
his thumbs,
5.
trying to yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Newly opened passageway. There's... Oh, it's over here. I thought that would be the door. Oh my god, this whole place. It's a studio. Oh, this is dark. I mean, literally as well. Okay. That doesn't look helpful. What do I do? This looks like a lift shaft. I'm gonna go towards it. Oh, okay. Beware loading screens.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Well, I've been freed of the mind control. That I was actually happy with what I was doing all this time. I feel like some of this stuff we're passing by is significant for some reason. Oh, look at this.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ah! Look at this. Escape, it says. Should I? I'm gonna play along for now. Right. Big light bulb. Lots of symbols on the...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh my god.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Bit odd they've got these random screens stuck at the top, sort of out of sequence. Anyway, sorry, let's not quibble over the details. These are going to close, aren't they? We have a security camera button. What's that say? Employee observation protocol. Oh, I just can't read it and I can't zoom in. I can see just at the bottom there it says, in the case of a class 3 event, close something and consult with supervisor. Okay, so these guys were monitoring the employees. What is that? Urgent. Employees should never order any... Oh, I can't read it. Any something... Oh. Okay. Let's go press another button.
Now the monitors jumped to life.
Oh god.
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What were we? 427. Is that one right there, right in the middle? Well, yes. I recognize it, sort of. Okay, well, what's next? What is going on?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I'm guessing the answer is yes.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Well, this is an epiphany. He's having a moment of realization.
Here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay, and how are we going to do that then? Facility power. Well, I guess we'll go pull a few cables out then. I mean, oh, mind controls idle awaiting input. So we got some kind of software output. Mind control system.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Then it's the off button or the on... Okay, we'll go with the story. I think... Is this the right thing to do?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
I'm glad we're thinking the same thing.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
That's beautiful. And the words. The words were beautiful. Stepped through the open door. I feel like we're being manipulated again, though.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
The end. Well, that was a great game, guys. What do you think? Oh, we have got an achievement. It said beat the game. Are you kidding? I actually did. I beat the game. I was joking. That was my first achievement. What's going on? We're back in the office. We're back at the beginning.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
What's happening?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
What's happening? We're reliving the whole thing all over again. It can't be. Maybe we have to make some different choices. We're going to get the answers. Somebody left in a hurry. We're going to get these answers. I guess we have to not now play the game the way it wants us to.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, maybe then we don't follow the Stanley parable and we do the opposite.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Love this guy. Yeah, and Stanley just well knew it. I love the way he's adjusting as we do the very same thing. What's happening? The employee.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Oh my god, he's... Yeah, alright, I get it. I've got to move, right? The game's telling me...
Yes, really, really worth it being
alright, I'm moving.
Room, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Oh, did he now? This one here? By any chance? What if I didn't? What if I didn't? I want to see what this path holds.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, that would take me back to where the... But again, what if I don't? Oh, I can't press that button. So I do have to get back on track. Maybe that will come into play another time. Damn it.
Yet
Okay.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. So
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I'm gonna try down. What is this? Absolutely nothing. Okay.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Yeah.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Oh my God.
And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Well, that didn't work.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
This game is nuts.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What, was that supposed to be Stanley on the ground? The end is never the end is never the end. Okay. My God, so that's two paths. One has led to us leaving and us the realization we don't need to know what's going on, and discovering the wide open world is just where we need to be and we don't need to ask any more questions. Everything is fine. That was one end, but it's never the end. I see what they're doing there. Then I decided to go off the beaten path, took the right-hand door, and it revealed Stanley's wrestling with his conscience and the voice inside his head. Even the voice started questioning the voice inside his head. That was bizarre, and I'm guessing by the end there, as he was screaming, he fell off a balcony and landed on the ground, and that lady... Actually, it helped her realize that her life wasn't so bad after all. Now what? Now where do we go? What do we try this time?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh.
What could it mean?
Okay.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I don't think taking a different path is gonna help. But there's so many other options I have not explored.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, we've done... Okay, so I've got that bit. Left-hand path done. Meeting room
there was not
madness.
a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay. Let's go up to the office again. Going down
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, going down just led to craziness. Can I go through here? No. Okay.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I do love that touch.
But incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Right. So, what are we going to do this time? This is... I see what they mean about this game is playing me. Do I just keep exploring until... and taking different paths? I mean, guys, this is incredible. I mean, it's certainly not like any game I've come across before. 21 minutes. Maybe. A little bit, it's a little touch of that. Great idea. What? You know, I still have so many questions. Right, the lift's busted. Can it go back up again? Oh, you can go back up again. Interesting. Let's leave that where it is.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
See that? If light is on, call extension 914 immediately. Well, if there was a phone nearby, I might give that a go. Is that the sort of thing I've got to look out for? Call 914. There's an escape. Oh, should we try the escape? Let's go this way.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh, come on. I don't believe you. I'm going anyway.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
I think I know what's about to happen then.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
I will do it. I will confront my death. This is it, isn't it? This is my certain death. Oh. Oh, hold on a second. Whoa, okay, I think we've done...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
Okay.
he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
I'm sorry.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I'm sorry. No, I regret it. Can I go back? Oh.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What's happening? This is... What the... I'm so confused. We have a new narrator that's fetched me out of my untimely death. The Stanley Parable. What is going on?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
What is happening? Whoa.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
I don't see anything at all. I'm so confused. The office. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hold on. Button sounds. A selection of sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and the synthesized tone. I can't press them. The credits. This is the people who made the game. Written and designed by... Okay. Well... Was the whole point that I was supposed to escape and cheat death? Filing cabinets, office computers. Okay, this is like a little museum of the game itself. What is happening? We have the office. Maintenance room. We never tried that. An early version of the maintenance room. We never went down that lift. There's an upstairs that way. This is such a bizarre experience. Is about all I can do. The office clock, yeah, I see. That's a different room. Uh-huh. The lounge. Okay. This is an early version of the underground portion of the... Okay, seriously, what is happening here? Ooh.
Now look closely, Stanley. See how it's impossible for the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of poor level design, textbook mistake. It's the kind of thing you'd pick up on intuitively if you had even the most fundamental...
Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over 2 years of development.
Trying to solve it.
These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game.
Then he pushed the number 4. Let's see. Stanley walked through the green...
Kevin Brighting. Okay. This is weird. This is so weird. I love this little museum. This can't be it. There's got to be more to this. The freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending in the game's alpha. Okay. Countdown desk. I never even saw this. One of the desks from the early version. Okay, so some of this stuff didn't even make it into the game. Monitor room elevator. Stanley. Hold on. Hold on. Game design mock-up. That's the Stanley's office. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go through that corridor, which had some kind of light at the end.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another.
What are you
How they both wish to be free.
These two. Look at these two. What is she talking about? On or off? Huh.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No.
Who?
Perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit.
What?
There's no other way to beat this game.
Escape. Are you serious? Are you serious? Is this actually what I'm going to do? Quit. Begin the game? Or what's going on? I'm so confused. Was that what I was supposed to do?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, God. I'm so messed in the head now. I am so confused.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Right, I'm going to
What
go
could it
back.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's bizarre. I love it though. Okay, we'll go.
Stanley came to a set of 2
We'll go to
open
the office.
doors.
I'm going to go
He
down that
entered the
escape
door on his
road.
left.
And
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
right. Oh, I keep forgetting the code to the door.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk.
Yes, give me the code.
What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess, yet incredibly, by simply pushing
I
random
do love
buttons
this
on the
guy's
keypad,
narration, it's
Stanley
brilliant.
happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Right. Is this a good idea? I've got absolutely no clue what I'm supposed to do, what's going on, but I love this. I really love this. I got a feeling this is going to be one of those games where...
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, I don't know. Should I go back to that museum? What if I do the escape again? Will it change?
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
It's like the narrator definitely doesn't want
The door
me.
behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
So perhaps that was the whole point. Like, or one of the points. We still don't know what's going on, but one of the ideas was that I had that this might have been the actual way to get to the end game. It can't be. It can't be that simple.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is.
It's true, we've got a
Perhaps his
lot more
death was of
discovery.
no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
Right.
Farewell, Stanley.
Okay, this is the point where the second narrator takes over.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
So... Right, I can't click on these things. I'm going to go back through...
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What
they
exactly
can read
did
me.
the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
They can read me so
When
well.
every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
If I followed that path, that's all I know right now. Countdown room. Well, we haven't seen that countdown room. There is more. Okay.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Right. I'm going to leave it
Can you
this time.
see? Can you see how much they need one another?
No.
No,
I can't see.
Perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
Right, I'm not going to...
Listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game.
Right, it's
As long
rubbish.
as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Don't let time choose for you. Oh, help me. What's going on? It's just black. Oh, the end is never the end. Is never the end. Is never the end. Oh my God, people. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's bizarre, wonderful, beautifully told. It looks good too. But my God, there are some more mysteries to be solved. What do you think of this? I am really looking forward, strangely, to being able to play it again. We've got a few other things that we can try down the original path I went. Right at the very end of the first path when I turned off the machine. What if I turn it on? or I'm sure there were other buttons I could press. There's other things I can try, and we have definitely not discovered any of the truths, really. Only a couple of possibilities. A museum, a way outside, and a way to get squished to death. What more does this game have in store? I personally am really looking forward to finding out more. If you're enjoying this, go ahead, leave a like, drop a comment. What the hell are you thinking is going on? If anyone has played this game, by the way, I please kindly ask you for no spoilers in the comments, because I'll be reading them, so will other people who've not watched or played this game, and they might want to see this unspoiled, and that's apparently very recommended. So appreciate your support on that one, and everybody else I appreciate. In fact, everybody, I appreciate your support as always. Thank you very much for watching this. Please leave a like if you can, subscribe if you're new, and of course comments are always welcome. I love reading them. All the best, guys. Take care and good night.